This is the best day ever!
People are saying it is too many calories.
Calories. Ice Bear is focused.
Before we continue this heartwarming journey, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to We Bear Bears, if you believe that kindness, friendship, and second chances can change the world. Your support helps bring more inspiring stories to life. The three brothers had always lived simple but happy lives. Bruno, the oldest, carried the responsibility of protecting his younger brothers and every animal who needed help. Moss was gentle, thoughtful, and loved nature more than anything else. Koda, the youngest, was endlessly curious and believed every legend hidden inside the forest had a grain of truth. While many animals laughed at his imagination, Koda never stopped believing that miracles waited for those willing to search with an open heart. That peaceful morning, the glowing sparkles slowly drifted deeper into the forest, forming a shining trail. The brothers followed them through ancient trees, flowering meadows, and crystal-clear streams until they reached an enormous oak tree unlike anything they had ever seen. Hidden beneath its giant roots stood a tiny stone gate covered with vines and glowing flowers. The gate slowly opened without anyone touching it, revealing a beautiful valley that had remained hidden from the outside world for generations. Inside the valley, colorful flowers stretched farther than the eye could see. Golden bees flew peacefully from blossom to blossom, filling the air with a gentle humming that sounded almost like music. Sweet honey scented every breeze, and sparkling waterfalls reflected sunlight like rivers of liquid gold. In the center stood the oldest beehive any of them had ever seen, surrounded by hundreds of grateful forest creatures. The oldest owl explained that this was the secret honey festival, a celebration held only once every 100 years. During the festival, the magical honey collected from the valley would nourish every corner of the forest for many seasons. Its sweetness healed injured animals, restored dying flowers, and even helped lonely hearts find hope again. But this year, the celebration faced a terrible problem. The legendary golden blossom, the only flower capable of producing the magical nectar, had completely withered overnight. Without the golden blossom, the bees could not gather enough honey. Without the honey, the festival would end before it even began. The valley that had survived for centuries would slowly lose its magic, and every creature depending on it would suffer. Bruno immediately offered to help, not because he expected a reward, but because helping others had always been his greatest strength. Moss carefully examined the wilted flower beds, noticing tiny cracks spreading across the dry soil. Koda wandered farther into the valley until he discovered something strange. The stream that once carried fresh mountain water had been blocked by a massive fallen tree after a recent storm. The water could no longer reach the sacred flowers. Although the solution seemed simple, moving the enormous tree proved almost impossible. Bruno pushed with all his strength until his muscles trembled, but the tree barely moved. Moss searched for stronger branches to use as levers while Koda gathered dozens of forest animals, each willing to contribute whatever little strength they possessed. Rabbits carried stones away. Deer cleared broken branches. Birds spread seeds across the dry ground. Squirrels gathered vines to pull together. Hour after hour passed beneath the warm afternoon sun. Everyone grew tired. Their paws became muddy, feathers became dusty, and many wondered whether their efforts would ever be enough. Even Bruno, usually the strongest among them, quietly questioned whether they had failed. Then Koda noticed something important. Instead of everyone pulling in different directions, they needed perfect teamwork. Every creature lined up together, each contributing exactly what they could. No one was too small to matter. As one united family, they pushed, pulled, lifted, and encouraged one another with determined smiles. Slowly, almost unbelievably, the enormous tree rolled away from the stream. A gentle trickle of water appeared. Moments later, the trickle became a flowing stream. Soon crystal-clear water rushed joyfully through the valley once again. The thirsty golden blossoms eagerly drank the fresh mountain water. Within minutes their leaves straightened, their petals unfolded, and brilliant golden flowers bloomed across the valley. Thousands of bees filled the air, collecting sparkling nectar as sunlight reflected from their wings like tiny stars dancing above the forest. The secret honey festival had been saved. As evening approached, the valley transformed into a breathtaking celebration. Lantern-like flowers glowed softly beneath the twilight sky. Fireflies painted rivers of light through the trees while every forest creature gathered together in gratitude. Fresh honey was shared with every guest, not as a prize, but as a reminder that kindness grows sweeter whenever it is shared. The queen bee presented the three brothers with a small crystal jar filled with glowing honey. She explained that its greatest magic was not healing wounds or making flowers bloom. Instead, it reminded whoever held it that hope always returns when hearts work together. The brothers realized the greatest treasure they had discovered that day was never the magical honey itself. It was the understanding that courage inspires others, compassion multiplies when shared, and even the smallest act of kindness can begin a miracle. As the stars filled the night sky, the hidden valley slowly disappeared once more, remaining visible only to those whose hearts remained humble and generous. The three brothers quietly walked home beneath the moonlight carrying nothing but a small jar of honey and memories that would last forever. If this story touched your heart and reminded you of the power of friendship, kindness, and never giving up, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to We Bear Bears. Your support encourages us to keep creating heartwarming stories for everyone. Yellowheart special request, tell us in the comments, what would you do if you discovered the secret honey festival? The next morning, the Green Valley forest seemed brighter than ever. Flowers bloomed more beautifully, animals smiled more often, and every sunrise carried the sweet fragrance of hope. Long after the magical festival disappeared from sight, its greatest gift remained alive inside every heart that had chosen kindness over fear, teamwork over pride, and love over selfishness. The three bear brothers never spoke of themselves as heroes. They simply believed that every new day offered another chance to help someone else, and perhaps that simple belief was the greatest magic the forest had ever known.